What? Oh,
Get it up there.
Well, it doesn't work that way. I gotta stare at stuff for a while.
The Steve-O method.
That's every dude's method. Hello everyone, this is Brian from Brian Marisha channel. And we're a little bit newer to YouTube. We've been traveling and making videos for quite some time, but we haven't really been posting them on YouTube until just recently. And part of our channel, I think, is going to be some of the modifications that we've done to our Sprinter van. So previously we did a lot of international travel, just backpacking, and now we have transitioned over to van life in a way that we're doing overlanding with van life. I wanted to do some of the modifications that we had to the van. We've gotten some questions for some of the folks that are following us on the modifications we've done to our 2017 Sprinter that is a Winnebago Revel build, and which is a really good platform. We got the very first version that Winnebago made. I think we were the second delivery out of all the Revels that were produced. And so we've been making some changes to that over time. So one of the changes that I'm going to be covering today is going to be adding a ladder to the side. Winnebago did put a ladder on the back, and it was a pretty unique design in the sense that you could take the ladder off the van and you can move it around on the side of the rack and move it from the front to the rear, depending on what you wanted to do and access on the roof. Some of the challenges with that was just simply the design and how the ladder was originally attached to the van. There was a steel mechanism at the top. It started rusting, it started staining the paint. We had some hooks that allowed it to connect to the rack that stuck up above the actual van itself, so it created more clearance, can get caught on trees, things of that nature. You couldn't really use it on the rack on the rear, even though we did, but you're not supposed to. We've seen some damages that have happened to other people's Revels relevant to getting it caught on things. So we wanted to have a fixed ladder on the side of the van. And so we've been looking around on websites. You know, the expense between any add-ons, if you have a van, you understand the cost of every little thing you do, from a rack to a side step to a ladder. And so we did find a really good deal on FVC, Flatline Van Co. It is a ladder that is a fixed ladder. It was at $700. Some of the other ladders out there, they do have a cheaper one that is at $645, I believe. We did the 700 because it does have a little carve out for the wheel. The rear wheel. We have a 144 wheelbase on the Revel, and there's not a lot of room over there between our cassette toilet. There's a window. Being able to put a ladder on the side and that cutout for the rear wheel well was really helpful to be able to fit it in there. So I'll post a picture of the site so you can see what ladder we're using. And then I'm going to go outside the vehicle here and I'm going to walk you through the install so you can get an idea of how easy or hard, depending on your skill set, of installing a ladder on the side of the van, and the situation specifically with the Revel for those of you that do have a Revel. But it doesn't matter whether you have a Revel or not. It's a Sprinter van, it's a Sprinter van. And, you know, depending on the rack that you have installed on top, I'm going to walk through exactly how you install the ladder. So let's get to it. All right, to get started here, let's go ahead and check out the ladder itself. This is where we chose to install it, on the side of the van. And we, like I said earlier, we really didn't have too many options on where to install it. That we have a cassette toilet here with a door that opens. You have a window there, so you could either install it between the cassette toilet and the window, or right here and where the wheel well's at. And you'll see, I mentioned before, there's a carve out. You can see that carve out for the wheel well, and that allowed us to put it there. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to use it in that location. So I have the ladder out. I'm going to show you on top here what we're looking at for the rails, how it connects to the top of the van, and then I'll crawl under really quick and give you an idea how it connects to the bottom of the van. Before we start with that though, this ladder came in 2 pieces. So I'm going to zoom in really close here. And see, you can see a separation there. And then obviously another separation right there. And that's at the center of the ladder. So when we got it delivered, it came in 2 pieces. And so it's pretty simple, as relevant to the number of pieces that you received when you get the ladder delivered to you. There's simple 2 nuts that go up top, and then there's some infrastructure, some bracing pieces that you need to do on the bottom. There's 2 solid cylinder inserts that connect those 2 pipes. So my concern was, you know, will that get loose? Will it start to maybe stretch out these tubes? And the way that these go in, and you can see that silver piece right in there, it is solid metal. I think it's solid aluminum. I'm not sure the type of metal, but they put the threading, and you can see a screw there, screw there, screw there, and there. So there's 2 screws on the bottom, 2 screws on the top. And so you screw that through the tubes into the solid metal insert, and it is rock solid. So I really, as of now, don't have too many concerns about that at all, but we'll kind of wait to see how that wears. You do get up top quite a bit for snowboards, cleaning the solar panels, jerry cans that we have up there depending on the trip that we're going on. So let's go ahead and go up top. So all sprinters are the same depending on your year, and you'll notice that there's a track, and that comes on the Sprinter van. That's our roof rack delivered on the Revel by Winnebago. And then here's where the ladder is inserted into that. So the way that these work is you have a square nut that slides down this track all the way down, and then you put a bolt through right there, and then you can see the square nut that's in the track right there. So super easy to get it down there. With ours, I had to take off these 2 bolts in that bracket, those 2 bolts in that bracket, and then it actually just clearly slid all the way down. I thought I might run into some issues with the rack, but the way that this is installed is there's this metal piece that's inserted right here. Once you loosen these up and the little nut on their side gets straightened out, you can pull it right out, and it just slid all the way down. So that was super simple. Take out 4 bolts, slide it down, and you're set. I mean, I figured these would be squares, and they're long rectangle. So they put them in the channel, and then they turn them to make them the long width to hook into the channel. So yeah, I just need to get those square things underneath these brackets, slide them all the way down to here and here underneath these 2, which I've already pulled those out.
Nice.
More commonly used tools in the garage is the coat hanger. Probably one of
That
your
seems like a Ron trick.
more functional tools. See? So then you get those square nuts that are in here, and you get this all queued up. You do attach the ladder, or excuse me, you do put the 2 pieces of the ladder together before you put it on the van. And then really the work that makes this a little bit maybe challenging, if there is a challenge to it, is really the bottom piece. So there's a little lip, if you've been underneath your Sprinter, right here, and you can see my side step is attached to it, and you can attach a lot of things to the slip. It's pretty solid steel, and that's what this ladder is using to make the attachment. So there's a back bracket right here. You'll see these 4 screws that go across, and then this is how the ladder attaches to that bracket. So they deliver self-drilling screws. I opted to drill holes and put bolts through, and that's why you can kind of see these are mismatched a little bit. I just had some spare bolts that I wanted to use to put those. I figured they would be a little bit more sturdy and probably last a little bit longer than the self-driving screws or bolts, and so I opted for that. But you know, you're still gonna have to do a pilot hole even with those self-drivers, and then ratchet those in. Really pretty easy to do. And then as you can see here, there's a slit and there's some adjustment up or down depending on how that plate mounts. Gives you plenty of space to put the bolts that come with the ladder, which what you see here are those bolts, and those go through. There's also a bracket that you install in the back that connects to kind of somewhat of the frame. There's an offshoot of the frame that comes over and you drill through there, and then it goes down and it braces itself against that plate. So let me scoot underneath the van real quick and I'll give you a better shot. So here's the bracket that goes under, and then it connects right there to the frame. So this is the leaf spring that goes to the tire, and then this piece goes over, the leaf spring connects to the frame right here, and then this is the frame. So it's an offshoot of the frame. It's a strong steel piece. You drill that hole yourself to put that bolt through, and then it connects to the back of this plate, as you can see here. That's where the bracket comes down, and then the other bolt, the ladder connects right there. And then you can see that I drilled holes and put nuts across here, locking washers and locking bolts, so that those would not come loose. With all the rattling, we do quite a bit of off-roading. But that's it. That is the install. So super simple to be able to install it. So you don't need to have a lot of tools. You don't have to have a lot of expertise in building things to be able to install that. And so far so good. I'm pretty happy with it. And again, the brand is FVC, and you can see the label there. And happy so far. But for $700, I was really surprised by the quality. I'm really happy with the steps as well. I don't know if I showed you these. They're not round, they're squared off, and then they put these dimples in here. They give you some additional traction. And that's kind of a big deal. We do a lot of snowboarding, and in the winter you got snow boots on and your shoes have some snow and might be a little bit wet, so that's going to help quite a bit.
Sure you don't want to do it?
It's all you. I think it looks better.
It looks way better. Okay, original. Feels a little squirrely, a little flexy.
Yeah. Still got up there.
I did. It definitely worked. Oh, nice. Oh, sweet. Very sturdy.
Yeah.
Better. Feel it. Like the difference is crazy.
Yeah, it's solid. Solid. Good. No. Only took twice as long as we thought. So any questions, just reach out to us. Be happy to answer for you. Thanks for tuning in.
Make sure you like and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Adventure is calling.